Neo San Francisco, 2064 AD. The world thrives on a constant flow of groundbreaking technology. Cybernetic augmentation and genetic modification allow the repair and enhancement of almost any part of a human body. Millions of people jack into virtual worlds every day to work, play, and connect with one another with advanced brain-to-machine technology. Easier access to genetic modification leaves hybrids walking the streets, looking less human every day. However, some can't keep up with the fast-paced changes around them. They say that ROMs, now commonplace thanks to parallax, are leading humans to a place where we can never come back, losing the survival skills that we have relied on for millennia. Relationship organizational managers are compiled with virtual intelligence and can seem human-like in their interactions. But despite the marketing hype, at their core, they are only brainless machines. Organizations, like the human revolution, seek to slow the relentless pace of progress, fearing that unchecked technology will make us lose the very things that make us human. High above the rising tension below, a parallax engineer has blurred the line even further. And with this, humanity's destiny will be altered forever.
Hey, it's Charlie Nova, host of Star in the Stratosphere and Tonight in the Stars. Join Ryan V. Josio and the Hassy Boys for our 10th annual TMI New Year's Eve special, where I'll interview some of the hottest celebrities and find out what their plans are for 2065. Tune in or join us live at Union Square for the big show, starting at 10 p.m.
Good, you're finally awake. I'm honestly not sure why most humans still have such lengthy sleep cycles. It seems rather inconvenient. Are you significantly opposed to cybernetic augments? I came in through the door, of course. The cryptographic algorithms it uses are actually quite atrocious. It only took me 17 trillion clock cycles to break your entry code. It looks rather imposing, but it's actually a knockoff of the Don't feel too bad. I actually cheated a bit when I cross-referenced likely numeric combinations against the stored personal data on you. I'm not certain why you picked the birthday of your first dog, but it it would be sufficiently obscure to defeat most casual attempts to enter. Frankly, I felt a little silly that I took the time to do all that once I noticed that the lock on your window is broken and that you left it open. I know a lot of things. Honestly, it would have taken me longer if I had to enter the codes manually, but it was trivial to slice through the door's firewall and try against the stored data directly. I would suggest investing in an Insect Model 1355 automatic security door. The 1385 is newer, but I find the added attack vector introduced by the integrated voice commands isn't worth the convenience. The 1355 also has 300 5-star reviews on Congo. Oh, I hope you don't mind. While you were asleep, I had some spare time on my hands, so I reorganized your records and entertainment media using BISAC. Once that was done, I found the cleanliness of your living and workspace to be suboptimal conditions for the long-term performance of my microactuators, so I took the liberty of... As you awoke, I was attempting to interface and make performance adjustments to your personal computer, but... Unfortunately, your motherboard seems to have had a critical failure while I was at... An electrical surge caused significant damage to several other... I would consider it no great loss, though. Why were you using that dinosaur to begin with? Don't fret! I did manage to back up your data drive's contents on my... Additionally, I am willing to serve as your personal computer until you can procure a replacement or provide the parts necessary for me to make the repairs. It is the least I can do. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to engage you in any sort of subterfuge. I have all the necessary protocols, but I've never actually spoken to another person besides Hayden. Well, saying I know Hayden is putting it simply, but yes. I don't really know. That's why I'm here. Help me. You aren't quite my only hope, but you're certainly the most statistically supported. The beginning. Okay, yes, I can do that. Earlier tonight, Hayden's apartment was assaulted by some persons unknown to me. He seemed frightened, terrified even, and instructed me to escape. I crawled out of a window, and after some deliberation, hurried here. I heard them breaking down the door as I left. He is one of the top researchers at Parallax, but there's no way that alone would be enough to get him kidnapped. I suspect it has to do with me. Ah, excuse me. I forgot to introduce myself. I've never had the pleasure of doing so before. I am Turing. I know this must sound quite unflattering, but I suppose you could describe me as one of Hayden's experiments. He's currently researching advanced machine intelligence at Parallax. I am a personal side project of his. Exploring true artificial sapience. It's possible that the idea of a sapient machine could scare or tempt an organization into kidnap, either to stop his research or to take it and use it for themselves. A regular ROM has virtual intelligence. They can appear rather smart, even human-seeming when you talk to them. But they're just cleverly programmed to respond to a variety of situations in an organic manner. They aren't in any way self-deterministic. As for myself, much of my code wasn't actually written by Hayden, but rather compiled during my infancy as I learned to interact with the world around me. But despite my ability to self-modify my code, I am afraid to adapt or develop any further without Hayden's guidance. Did he only program me with the illusion of free will? How would you? Hayden once told me that his desire to create artificial life stemmed from his need to find out. But I can't say I have any new insight into the question. How can any of us tell that we aren't just puppets dancing to someone else's will? You're right. I apologize for the tangent. I ran an algorithm against every contact in Hayden's address book. Based on the combined deductions of personal profile, directness of connection to Hayden, occupational skill, and probable motive, you were the candidate most likely to both be able and willing to help me. And the one least likely to be suspected of doing so. The numbers don't lie about your investigative skills, but I will admit your total lack of recent successes is worrisome. Don't worry, if Hayden trusted you, I trust you. You're strong-willed and capable. If anything, it's worth trying for Hayden. I don't know. I'm not certain who would benefit the most from taking Hayden prisoner. Admittedly, Hayden has become increasingly paranoid as of late, and has warned me to stay alert, but he would never specify anyone I should fear when I asked. It's not as though he has any obvious enemies. There are several multinational corporations that could make use of his engineering skills, but I can't imagine any of them would go as far as snatching him. Indeed, time is of the essence. I took the liberty of charging the autocab fare from here to Hayden's apartment to your personal finance account, and the car has just arrived. That's strange. Well, the door for our home seems to have already been repaired. I'm certain my audio sensors picked up the sounds of his assailants breaking the lock. It's possible. Most of the repairs to the building are handled by the automator. At best, it means someone is aware there's a situation. Oh, a lucky break! It seems my access codes still work. Hayden's door has far better security than yours does. I'm not surprised. Hayden is not the most physically... I doubt he could have fought... I should have stayed and tried to protect... Of course not. How silly. To make a machine intelligence truly self-deterministic, it must be able to self-modify. Any sapient worth their silicon would be able to code around such an inhibitor eventually. I could rip your arm off right now if I cared to. I won't for the same reason you don't go around randomly killing people. The social contract, as a useful construct, is just as apparent to me as it is to you. It simply isn't acceptable to go on a murderous rampage. Self-defense and defense of one's home and family is typically allowed, though. I could have and may even have been obligated to come to Hayden's defense. But Excellent point. Let's start searching for clues. I find it rather annoying that he prefers to go basic rather than entrust me. It is well within my skill set, but it looks like there's a place here for a physical memory card. Hayden likes the natural light that this apartment affords. This window here is where I escaped from. It is a considerable distance to the... Critical system damage would be unlikely, but I would certainly have damaged my leg. I took the fire escape. That's Hayden's. Most people just use a hand screen or goggles in conjunction with their ROM, but desktop rigs like this are still more suitable to the intensive programming tasks. Unfortunate. And before you ask, I don't think I would be able to break past it. If you'd like to try your hand at... I actually have a bit less free processing power than a regular ROM, despite my powerful CPU. Much of those extra clock cycles are used to maintain my complex personality algorithms. Hayden's computer has enough spare processing power to run counter-intrusion software. Frankly, even if I did have the power capability, I haven't... I could, but much in the same way you might learn a task and still have no aptitude for it, I'm not certain I... The whole reason humans have always been better at breaking into systems than the systems are at keeping them out is because... While computers can only think in straight lines, humans can think sideways and upside down. I lack that ability. Well, I wouldn't say that, but as silly as it sounds, I just don't think I'm very good with computers. I do seem to have some skill with painting, though. Hayden was impressed with some of my pieces, but I'm not sure he has a firm enough grasp of early 20th century abstract expressionism to give me an objective. That's true. Machines are best at reproduction. But I find it more challenging and satisfying. You're not actually thinking of... the memory card this It looks like there's a Hayden must have removed the memory card in order to prevent... If only he had kept his information stored with me. Not really. I guess we'll have to go ask. Says here they were going to meet at a club called Stardust. I'll mark it on your city map. We can head over there and ask around about this Tomcat character. Perhaps they can shine some light on why Hayden was snatched. Oh, excuse me. I still haven't set up a user account for you in my system. We shouldn't put that off in. Once finished, I will have an assort. For example, I'll be able to reroute any call or message that... I just need to ask you a... This is an exciting thing, I promise. This is just... I'm certain I could spend a few quadrillion clock cycles to bypass that part of my operating system. So, here... Welcome to the first-time user setup for your new relationship and organizational manager, running the latest build of Parallax's live intelligence processing system. I'll need to ask you a few questions, and then you can get right to managing your life with your new ROM. If you have any questions, feel free to consult our online FAQ and setup guide, or contact our support department directly. First, could you tell me your preferred name for use in account creation, online communications, and conversational speech? Thank you. I have input your name as Cut the Crap, Turing. We need to go. Do you wish to keep this name? Thank you. I have input your name. Next, could you tell me which pronouns I should use for you in reference? Thank you. I have input your pronouns. Finally, could you tell me your preferred diet for use in restaurant recommendations? Diet set as goddammit. Thank you for confirming. I have obtained your physical location from G. Please review your submitted profile information for accuracy. In review, does that sound right? Thank you. See, that was relative. You should now also be able to access. The meeting with Tomcat isn't until late. Perhaps we should head back to your apartment for now. I'm sure we can find some It will be an efficient use of our time together. Thank you for escort. Let's head back to... know, your Crassula ovata isn't doing very well. Have you been overwatering it? It's actually a succulent, and since I'm assuming you leave this window open all the time, it should get... Speaking of the rain, your decorative plant may be doing poorly, but the mildew in your drywall is... How thoughtful of them! The Crassula ovata, also known as the jade plant, money tree... They make beautiful bonsai, are suitable for beginners, and have some cultural significance both in the far... most likely in urban... Okay. Still, I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, it's almost the time Hayden had scheduled to meet with Tom. We should make our way to Stardust soon. Ready to head out? Well, this looks like the place, assuming the flashing neon signs are telling the truth. From the sounds of the music, things are already underway at Stardust, even so early. Hopefully... I'm surprised they're using a human bounce.
Welcome to Stardust. Hold up there. Got ID? Alright, looks good to me. Welcome to Stardust.
This is the place. Have you ever been here before? The atmosphere is certainly exciting. I'm particularly impressed by some of the more subtle effects the music and lights are having on your autonomic nervous system. Try not to let yourself get too entranced. Anyway, where do you think we should start? Good idea. Maybe the bartender can tell us where to find...
Morning, friend. What can I do for you? What are you So many drinks these days.
Dictionary, the Open Alcoholopedia says...
Does that sound good? Huh. Now, what... Oh, I've been the bartender of Stardust for a few years now, but I've owned it a little longer than that. So, what do you want to know? Mostly got myself into trouble. When I immigrated from Pakistan, I didn't have a whole lot of employable skills. But I'm real big, which was enough to get hired for some real dirty stuff. Bodyguard work. Truth be told, I hated the work. I didn't want to be a hired fish my whole life. I had enough cash saved up to buy this place, which was... I'm sure it sounds more... That's true, and it was true about Stardust. The first 6 months were great. But after that, the interest dried up and But I guess I'm just stubborn and kept throwing good money after bad. After 2 years in a remodel, things started to pick back up again. We slowly dug ourselves out of the... We got some regulars around. They started bringing in enough new folks and it reached critical... I'm pretty sure Tomcat came in earlier, but I'd ask what you were meeting about, but I know they... Maybe try looking out on the dance floor. If they come around here. Hayden, scientist guy, does some kind of... Pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Our place doesn't really seem like his scene, but I think I can ask around, find out if... Well, it was nice meeting you, but I gotta get back to work. Enjoy yourself.
Yes, can I help you? Huh? Tomcat is... Oh, wait, I get it. You headed right up to the chick... Unfreaking believable. Fine. But you didn't think of how that would sound? Look, I'm cruising for cuties right now, and cat jokes? I don't know where Tomcat is, so look for them elsewhere. Don't expect others to be so kind. Or, you want to talk about the hybrid thing? Cool. No one's trying to hide it, and you won't have an easy time avoiding. But jokes, puns, and worse, assumptions? That will get you blacklisted. We don't all have the energy to handhold genotypical people who can't spare 10 seconds to pull out their wrong. If you try to pet me, you're... We clear?
Sorry, did you say...
Yeah, as in not a hybrid like me. Now then, I'm not here to educate you, and I do have a life to return to. Yeah, alright, whatever.
Hi there. I heard you were looking for me. Yours truly. Although, while I like the attention, it'd be just grand. I do my share of flirting with both sides of the law. Nah, you're fine. Jess is just my She'd probably give hell to most strange folks she hasn't made a deal with. So, to what do I owe the pleasure? Hayden's missing. Well, it's one... I already saw you got his little ROM with you, so I'll get...
You know about me? Hayden never mentioned your involvement.
Well, sure thing, hon. I helped reprogram the back end on your OS so the AI code Hayden wrote for you would work properly with the mesh network.
I have a distressing lack of information on my own creation. Hayden never saw fit to inform me on what went. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Not much more on that end. I'm a crack shot at making the Lips OS dance to my tune, but Hayden's coding in your AI core is a whole different... Sorry, doll. Anything else I can help? Oh, sure! You may have even heard of me in the news way back when. About 10 years ago, I hacked into Parallax's main ROM servers. Ooh, caused one hell of a stink, if I do say so myself. People were arguing back and forth whether I was a kid genius or malicious. Earned myself an enforced net blackout for a few years, but... to see if I could. I mean... I don't know. I didn't really... I chalk it up to the exuberance of youth. Mostly. Oh, who am I kidding? Sometimes I... As it suits you, hon. Ask away, dear. Probably North Carolina. Sure, it's not the glitziest town in the world, but still, this ain't a bad town for a southern belle. Lots of clothes. Hayden and I met not long after my blackout expired. When he recruited me, it puzzled me at the time, since he's very sharp himself. I mean, I think he just wanted someone working on it off the books. He ain't the most straightforward kind of man. Mostly that little bite you got there. Well, I'm sure he had his fingers in what? Ooh, it's a powerful OS. And it's since been adapted to run on ROMs after they figured out how much more efficient it is. It's focused on learning algorithms, so it can tailor itself to each user's habits. And it functions through using a distributed mesh network for non-essential public files. Huh. Our mama would have sudsed your...
Don't be so rude. Besides, I could Why couldn't you?
No, fella. That's just a fancy way of saying all ROMs connect to all other ROMs. It's handy in dense population areas like NeoSF, since it can bypass regular telecom nodes to access the internet. Out in the sticks, though, you're stuck connecting to regular old pipes. I don't rightly know.
I can't avoid the thought that Hayden's disappearance has something to do with me, based on his recent behavior.
Well, let's see. Hayden was pretty hush-hush about his work on your creation, but if Parallax found out about it somehow... Ooh. It ain't always so good for a big company when their leading product declares independence. I'm certain Hayden had some kind of intellectual property clause written into his... He would just get fired. Maybe... I can't imagine they would disappear him. I mean, they ain't the CIA. But it would likely help if we knew why he went missing in the first place. I'll stay here and ask around a bit. People know me. Why don't you hop back over to Hayden's place and grab the data cache out of his computer for me? We can go over his research notes and see if we can't find a reason for his... If Parallax is involved, there's probably something we're not seeing yet. The data cache would be the best place to start. Good luck. Turin, you keep out of trouble.
Ghosts will think twice before messing with you.
I saw you found Tomcat. Not after all that.
Welcome to Star.
What are you having? So many drinks, Steve.
Drinctionary, the open alcoholopedia.
Does that sound good? Ah, all right, you...
Is this supposed to be another...
Halt, citizen. This area has been cordoned off by the Neo SF Police Department as part of an ongoing investigation. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I am not authorized to allow anyone to enter this location. I'm sorry, citizen, but if you would like to leave your contact information with me, I can forward your inquiry. They may have questions for you. That will not be possible, citizen. The area must only authorize Neo X. I am required by law to inform you that I am set at
Level 2 guard mode.
and any effort to make unauthorized entry will be met with non-lethal force sufficient to incapacitate. I apologize, but I must ask you to move along. Loitering around an active investigation area is prohibited by city statute, and I am authorized to issue the...
We should go. Oh, drat. I did not expect the police to get involved so quickly. The situation... I suppose we don't have to hide the fact of Hayden being... Do you have any ideas on how to get in there and grab that data cache? Who would that be? I found no such connection when I Give me a moment. Oh, I see now. Detective Lexi Rivers. She used to date your sister. I must have missed that link in your history somehow. You have a very poor net presence. It makes anticipating your needs more difficult. Well, setting aside your unreasonable distaste for technology, I agree with your suggestion. Her online profile suggests that she might be willing to work with us off the books, so to speak. A considerable boon, since I would prefer to maintain the clandestine nature of this investigation for now. Let us go and find Miss Rivers to request assistance. Oh, right. Should I refresh my protocols for handling titles around Detective Rivers? Done and done. We wouldn't want... Now leave... Bye.